There we go.
Sorry. Okay. So we'll start with introductions, just who you are, pronouns, role on the council, or reason why you're in the meeting. Um, and yeah, I think we'll leave it real simple. So I'm Molly Griggs. I am the chair of Oregon Consumer Advisory Council, and I'm just going to pass it to the person who's next to me in the little box, which would be JD.
I had a feeling I would be. Hello, everybody. It's JD, they, them, or turtle for pronouns. And I help out wherever I can with the OCAC as a member of the council. And I'll pass it off to Kevin.
Hello, my name is Kevin. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm the producer of a health forum called Peer Networks on Monday morning, and I'm the executive director of the Oregon Mental Health Consumers Association. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you. I'll call Heather. It looks like you're in a nice sunny climb out there. You're outdoors somewhere. It's the Oregon in November, so you must be someplace else. Go ahead, Heather.
I am outside in Oregon in November. There's a little bit of blue sky. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, okay.
I use she, her pronouns. I'm in Portland currently. I split my time between Portland and Eugene, and I am the co-vice chair of the OCAC. And I will pass it to Rhea.
Rhea, it says, hello, I am Rhea, member of OCAC in Portland, lived experience with mental health and addictions of being super queer and super poor.
And then Julia also introduced in the comments. So she said Julia, she, her, member of OCAC. And Isaiah also in the comments, Isaiah Mitchell, he, him pronouns, co-facilitator of the development committee. All right. Let's go to Heather. Have you introduced yourself? You did. Sean, how about you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Sean Cook, pronouns he, him, and his. I am one of the program analysts for the Traditional Health Worker Program. I'm here today as just an observer to answer any questions if they relate to peer support specialists.
Hi, my name is Kevin. Program. I had a difficult childhood. Mom was addicted to nervous pills, and Dad was a drunk. And thank God for older siblings, brother. Anyway, I'm getting aged and getting gray hair, and I'm losing cortisol.
Oh, that is weird.
That wasn't me.
Harder for me to sound macho and cool, and I'm getting very popular with all the virality of my social media, so I don't have time.
That's somebody else's. That's not mine.
Now I'm just going to give a robot copy voice. This isn't Kevin.
It's your AI thing that you put in.
AI thing.
It is?
Take it out of the meeting, Israel.
Yeah.
Okay, Barb, I just put in the chat the YouTube links, but I didn't know I was playing it. Sorry.
Well, I'm not clicking them now. Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, Sean, were you done? Okay, Walter, do you want to introduce yourself?
Was Sean?
I'm all done, Walter. Go ahead.
Sorry. How you guys? Walter Bailey, Office of Recovery and Resilience, a person with lived and living experience. Grateful to be here, here in the Portland metro area. And I do have a bystander. And if they're not innocent, but this is my kitty. This is Bryn, and she's up here taking notes. So good to see everybody. And I'll pass it to, who hasn't gone? I'll pass it to Charm. Did Charm go already?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Hey everyone, Sharmalina Nataraja, she, her pronouns. I'm the community engagement, or one of the community engagement analysts for the Office of Recovery and Resilience, and I will pass it to Maria.
Thank you, Charm. Good afternoon, everyone. Sure, I can turn my camera on. I have been having some computer issues, so it doesn't look like it wants to go on. My apologies. Oh, there it goes. Good afternoon. My name is Mireya Williams. Ella, she, her are my pronouns. I am the Behavioral Health Metrics and Committee Manager. I am here in Bo's absence, so I'm here to support you all until Bo returns. And I will pass it over to my partner, Brittany, to introduce herself.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Brittany Wake. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the interim director for behavioral health, equity, and community partnerships. I'm also partnering with Medea to support the Office of Recovery and Resilience in this interim period. And I'm not sure
Thank you.
who else to pass it to.
We have Caroline join us. Caroline, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. Really good to be here. I'm not sure how long I can stay for this meeting, but it has been way too long since I've seen y'all, and I can't show up today.
It's always good to see you.
Lots of lived experience, almost too much to shoot this count.
Who is Osh?
Is that Luke?
Is this Luke? Yeah. I was wondering if it's Luke.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you see me?
Not yet.
Oh, here we go. There's a
Yes, here
there's
you
a camera
are.
under the camera there. Hi.
Yeah.
Yep. Here we are. And I'm with that as well. So I'll check in first. Luke Walters, also known as Luke A. Shooting Star, here at Salem's. But they need to see me too. Okay, all right. And really happy to be with you. I've been with the council for a very long time, 10 years, and representing the PSRB population. And hopefully pass it off to a successor here pretty soon, because I am way past my term. Thanks.
And I'm Thad Zimlak, he, him pronouns, also here in Salem, and just happy to be here today with all of you.
How about, has Drake gone?
No, not yet.
Okay, pass it to Drake.
Drake Eubank, advocate from Eugene, chair of the Legislative Committee. Legislation, Benefits, and Human Rights, which, since the state hospital people are here, it's important to use the full title of the committee. Thank you. I can't see anybody, so if somebody would like to pick the next person,
Yeah.
please do.
Laura Rose.
Hello, I will pass right now, but thank you.
Thank you, Laura Rose, for being with us.
Yes, glad you're both here.
I think we have Kendall.
My name is Kendall Burns. I use she, her pronouns, and I work in the Office of Recovery and Resilience. I am the Peer Run Respite Coordinator and a person with lived and living experience. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Walter go?
Walter already gone.
Okay.
Did you introduce yourself, Molly?
I did. You started with me.
I think.
So I think we're done with introductions.
Only me.
Pardon?
It's only me. So all of you know me. I'm Israel Hayani, she, her, hers. I'm happy to be with all of you. Back to you, Molly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we have Marquita, sorry. It's joining us now. Marquita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, where did she show up?
Yeah, she just joined us. Marquita, welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Introduce yourself, please.
Marquita, I am one of the vice chairs of OCAC, co-vice chair of peer support subcommittee, and I am excited to be here. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you. Okay, our next up on our agenda is public comment. Do we have public comment?
I also want to point out I asked a question in the chat when there's time.
I will respond to your question in the chat. Barb, I see your hand.
I was going to do public comment from the standpoint that I didn't get a chance to introduce myself, and I usually am allowed to speak up freely in this meeting.
Yes.
And there's staff here that's not necessarily used to that. So my name is Barb Rainish. I use she, her pronouns. I'm in Multnomah County. I'm a consumer and a volunteer. And I would say that I'm just a follower of OCAC at this point. I don't have there's a word on the tip of my tongue and it's not coming out. It'll come out at the next meeting or later on today. I appreciate all the good work y'all do.
Thank you, Barb. I would contributor to OCAC. Just my personal, that's how I would refer to you. Okay. I think next, if we have a moment before Jamie, but let's take a moment. And Brittany said that she's willing to respond to the question in the chat about Bo. So, and I think we would love to have that information.
Yeah, thank you so much, Molly. And I'll just apologize in advance because I don't have any specific information to offer. The only thing that I can say is that Bo is currently out of the office, and that in his stead, myself, I'll introduce myself again, Brittany Wake, she, her. I'm the interim director for behavioral health equity and community partnerships. Some of you may have met me in different circumstances. And my colleague, Medea Williams, and I are working in partnership to support the Office of Recovery and Resilience until Bo's return. Unfortunately, we can't say more than that because we don't know more than that. And we just hold Bo in our closest regards and hope that he is supported and doing well. And Medea and I will be doing everything possible to support you all and to support the ORR team in maybe a fraction of the way that Bo would, but we'll do our best.
I see a hand up, Barb.
Never mind. I decided I'm not going to ask the question. Sorry.
Okay, Drake, I see your hand up.
Yeah, unfortunately, this seems to be a matter of public record, but some of us are aware that Bo was arrested in May. So I know the state can't say anything about it, but something seems not okay, and it would be much better if the state could give us enough information to give us some real idea of what is going on, because he just at times, without us being warned, has just dropped off the map.
Drake, I appreciate you for saying that. I have no idea about that. That information is completely unknown to me, and it's unknown to our team. So I won't address that because it's not information that I have. And genuinely, the only thing that we know is that that Bo is out of the office for a while. And that we're wanting to support the ORR team. That's God's truth. I don't know. I've never heard any of the other information.
Yeah, that's actually public record. There's already a guilty plea and conviction in the public judicial record in Multnomah County, unfortunately. I guess the thing that I wanted to say is what is the path, since Bo is the director's designee and our recommendations go, and we are serviced by not just the ORR administrative assistants, but we also, our recommendations are supposed to go to the director's designee, and that was actually Bo's role with the council.
Yeah, I would say anything that needs to go anywhere Medea and I are, we have the access and the capacity to elevate any needs that you all have. So that will be our role on the council. So anything that needs to be elevated, we have the ability and power, for lack of a better term, to elevate those things.
So what I hear you saying is you are able to effectively step in and replace Bo. What I would like to say is, I would prefer that we not speculate on the reasons for Bo's leave of absence. Yeah, I would prefer that we not. That not be a topic for us. He is on a leave of absence. It's a protected leave. He has replacements. We will now do business with Brittany and Maria, who will act in the role that Bo was previously in.
Thank you, Molly.
I would just like to move forward in that manner. So Bo is officially the director's designee. So I guess I would ask Brittany and Maria to determine whether or not we need to have the director designate you all officially so that you can move things through the process. That is,
Yeah,
okay.
I think that, yes.
Yes, you can do that. Excellent.
Yes, with the caveat that everything is, you know, as Bo would do, where we still need to check with our leadership and following that same guidance and process.
Thank you. And there's a request for you to share your emails in the chat if you are comfortable doing so. All right. And Drake, is your hand still up or up again?
No, it isn't. Sorry about that.
Okay. Let's move on to Jamie Hines. Is Jamie here?
No, unfortunately, I received a message at 1:12. She is apologize, have another appointment, but she said, I'm gonna join maybe late. And
okay,
she will share the information she have when she come.
Okay. And Drake, did your hand just go back up?
No, I may have put it back up after somebody else took it down. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I understand how that happens. All right, so next on our agenda is MHAO doing a Peerpocalypse update, but I don't think they are due here until 1:30.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we can move to the voting items. Do we have quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kevin, I see your hand up.
Yeah, if possible, Madam Chair, can we go back to that last topic of apocalypse before they get here? I just have a preface of a question. Have we, as OC, I shouldn't say we, because I won't be part of the group after December, but has the group decided what the game plan is for OCAC formally with Peerpocalypse? And has there been requests to sponsor members to attend, or is that to be dealt with later on?
So I believe that MHAO is going to come and talk to us about how OCIC will attend Peerpocalypse and what the process will be, and that they did have us submit a workshop proposal primarily so that they would have a way of capturing all the information about what it is we need. And so those are the topics that they're going to come talk about at 1:30.
Okay, very good, very good. Thank you.
No problem.
I should just let me add to that, Molly. A whole bunch of people have been getting notices in their email the last couple of days around, oh, you've got a scholarship. Oh, you didn't get one, and so I it seems somewhat random, but I know probably almost a dozen people that have gotten updates about their Peer Apocalypse individual scholarship application. I think there's 3 or 4 different routes. So just want to put that out there. Thanks.
Yeah, I do think that MHAO had multiple scholarship opportunities with multiple deadlines this year. And so people may be starting to receive information about that. And we can ask Tanya and Laura about that if we want to when they're here. So I noticed in the chat, Rhea has a question about 11, is 11 quorum? And I know that 11 is quorum. Okay. So based on our current membership, 11 is quorum. So I think we were gonna please ask about their scholarships. Okay. Barb, if you want to just tell me a little bit more about what you want me to ask about their scholarships.
I was just seconding what Kevin said, and I was trying to be unobtrusive and I failed with that part of it.
Okay. And Isaiah needs to hop off it too. Okay. So let's move to the topics that we're voting on, and I believe we reordered them so that we could talk about the updated membership application first. Is that accurate? Okay. So let's talk about the updated new membership application. And Marquita, I see your hand up.
Yes, I wanted to, I know Luke wanted for the application to be voted on in a DEIB subcommittee. We did not vote on it. We did have a discussion around the application a little bit. I know Isaiah shared some concerns around a question that was there. I know that in development committee that I have recommended a question being added to the application. So today when we met the chair and the vice chairs, we discussed how can we move this about with the concerns of Luke possibly leaving OCAC the end of December. And we know that this is something you're very passionate about, and we appreciate all the hard work you've done. So we've discussed voting for an extension for Luke so that he can attend to the application to make sure that things get done. There was some things that came up with that. Isra shared that we are awaiting a confirmation from, is it
DOJ.
DOJ, yes, thank you. Awaiting confirmation from
Justice.
Thank you. Waiting for confirmation from them to see about the grandfathering clause for members. So we didn't want to just submit a motion to vote for an extension for Luke without him being aware that it's a possibility that it may or may not go through. So I thought that it was fair to just give you all the information, which is the application would have to go back to development committee to be discussed again amongst the development committee, then voted to be sent back to DEIB committee, then voted to be sent back to the full council, which would be December's full council, which we know that you're supposed to be leaving in December. With that being said, we could vote today to extend your membership, but it's not going to be set in stone until we get confirmation from the DOJ. So I would like to hear from you on how you would like to proceed. Would you like us to vote today to extend so that if it is confirmed that we're able to do the grandfather in, that the vote is already done, we wouldn't have to go through this process for next month?
Hi, Marquita. Thanks for weighing in about this. And hello, everybody. There's several pathways that this process could go from here, I believe. One of them, in honoring the motion that I put forth for an expedited process, is my fellow Fad here has put in an application. He put it in 2 months ago using the application version that Brandy put in 2021. So his application has been done for quite a while. He's got his letter of recommendation filled out, and it would be appreciated if we could send that on to Walter to be reviewed as a potential candidate to succeed me before the December deadline is upon us, so that we could, hold to that motion. Otherwise, I think we're going to need to update the motion as well. But we could also look at the paragraph that I added that you suggested. If somebody has the ability to screen share that PDF version of it, I'm really happy with it. And I really feel like we've captured the spirit of this need to include diverse population of Oregonians, and I appreciate your suggestion with that so much. I see your hand up. I'm not against having my membership extended. Quite frankly, yesterday was a good example of how difficult it's been for me to go forward with my membership with OCAC, while I'm also trying to start up new opportunities. So this period of time where there's a lot of overlap is extremely overwhelming for me from time to time, when there's a lot of responsibilities coming together at the same time. So thanks. All of that to be considered. Go ahead.
The question that I had recommended being added to the application, that was probably a small piece of it. Isaiah has shared some insights around his feelings around the question that is on the application. And I can share my insight of reading it. I thought that it was a bit unfair to request that of someone, when I think it just needs to be reworded, honestly, because we're learning as a committee, and we most definitely are not experts of it. And when I looked at it again, when we went over it in the DIB committee, it almost came across as if possibly expecting a bit much from maybe new applicants that are coming into. I don't want to speak for Isaiah. I think he's here. He could speak for himself. So it did not get voted on to even be sent to full council today. But since we're here, if Isaiah is willing to speak on his feelings around the question, and it's 1:31 as well, so just want to be mindful of our guests and their time.
You've lost Isaiah, I believe.
Okay, one more comment. One more comment is I drew from previous versions, and I put in kind of a best of version here. So what you see here is mainly what was already put forth by Nick and Brand previously. So yeah, we should definitely look at changing the words if we can improve upon them. And the demographic section is optional, by the way. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to jump in because our 1:30 appointment with MHAO is here. So I see both Laura and Tanya here in the room. I would like to invite Laura and Tanya to introduce yourselves and share with us about Purepocalypse. We will come back to the other topic once this part is done. Thank you.
Thank you for the intro, Molly. Can everyone hear me? Cool. So happy to be here with you all again, coming to you with some exciting stuff. MHAO is putting on the 12th year of Purepocalypse. It's happening again in Seaside, virtual and in person. Our dates this year are May 5th to the 8th, so still that same week. I have the registration link ready for y'all to register, and I think I'll drop it in the chat. This is my name is Laura Stewart again, and this is my email. Let's do.
Laura, can we also send that to Isra so that she can send the link out?
Cool.
Thank you.
Yes. MHOoforegon.org. That is my email as well. If anyone runs into any questions, your workshop was successfully submitted. So that's exciting news. Thank you for doing that. And I there's also some OCAC members who have submitted other workshops, and that was very exciting to see. You know, we did extend our workshop deadline. We have 2 weeks. It's extended until December 2nd. You know, it would be great to share that with your colleagues, if you know, or yourselves. I'll drop that link as well. You know, we are looking for more workshops, so if you could spread that link wide, that would be great. The registration link, that's specific to the OCAC Council yourself, so don't share that. It's the same form that you've seen previously, so let me know if you have any questions. There's that hotel preferences at the bottom of the form, so let me know if you have any questions there. It's the same hotels we were contracted with previously, so no updates there. Tanya, would you do you have any statements you'd like to make re-registration?
Hi, my name is Tanya Jones. Hi, Molly. Hi, everyone. Hi, Marquita. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Walter. Hi, Isra. Ria. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. So basically, Laura's given you pretty much an overview. Moving forward, we would really appreciate it if you guys, those who plan on attending from the OCAC committee, would have your registration form filled out no later than the end of this month. Please and thank you. Okay. Also, Laura talked about the hotels, like we have the same contracts with the same hotels. I will have Laura share that list of hotels with Isra, and Isra will send it to you. And what we would like to see, and you can email this back to Laura, is like your first choice, your second choice, and your third choice. Okay. We'll do our best to accommodate your first choice, right? But if we can't, we can't. Okay. I really need for people to use Laura's email address, not her. Don't text her. Like, I need this to be on the up and up so that we have record of it, so we know what we're doing. There's something I'm supposed to talk to you about, not in totally blanked. Laura, give me a hint. Oh, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Okay. And I'm really softening. I'm trying to soften y'all. I'm you know. So one of the things that have come up in the couple of years that I have been part of overseeing the logistics of Peer Apocalypse is that we've been, you know, asked, people don't want to stay in the hotels that we provide, right? That we have access to. And they want to be able to go and get their own hotel room somewhere else. And so I'm just here to remind folks is that part of our contract, let me back up. There is no deliverable in our contract that says we have to reimburse you. I just need to say that, right? So if you don't like the hotels that we offer and you would like to get your hotel room either in a different, you know, somewhere close to Seaside or a different hotel there, you will need to take it up with the state of Oregon to get reimbursed. If you have accommodations, I think it's on the application that it asks if you have any accommodations, please make them clear so that we know and that we can make sure that if we can't accommodate that accommodation, we will reach out to you personally, right? And figure something else out, okay? I'm excited. I look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you, Marquita, for filling out the workshop application. I appreciate it. It's just to help us make sure we have everything we need for you guys so that when you do your, now I don't forget what it's called, your OCAC meeting, it's not a meeting, it's a town hall, right? Town hall, okay. You know, there's no bumps, no skips, no nothing like that, right? We want it to go smooth. So I see that Kevin has his hand up, and I guess it's okay if I call on Kevin.
Go
Well,
right
I've
ahead.
been, yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And first of all, you guys do a great job every year, and it's very difficult. It's a huge task. So thanks for doing it again. Two things. One, I don't know, but I put a message to you in the chat, Tanya. I'd like to nominate somebody for Peer Leader of the Year award. So how do I do that? And then, hello?
So Kevin, I could have, the person that you just put in the chat, I think we already got that person this year, didn't we? Not saying that they don't deserve another one, right? Not saying that, but when we open that
But
up, we'll
no.
let you know, okay?
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. Well, all right. I got to give the $5 back. Sorry.
Okay, give the
Thank you.
$5 back. Sorry, okay. Anybody else have any questions, concerns? And if you need us to come back, because there's like multiple questions that maybe a couple of people are asking, but most likely it's also a question from like a group of people, we can always come back. Just let us know. So everybody has, so I think it was Laura Rose, then Isra, and then JD. Am I correct? Okay. Laura Rose. Where'd she go? Laura.
My mute apparently wasn't off. Sorry, I was hitting the wrong button.
You're good.
Sorry. So my question, I said good afternoon, and
Good afternoon.
thank you for being here. My question is, were there particular accommodations of any kind that were particularly notable that you think might be difficult in general to meet?
So there was only one accommodation in Laura Rose. We can talk offline. That was not difficult for us to meet. But I mean, there other things may have, transpired since this last, peer apocalypse, right?
Sure.
Up until now. And so that's all I'm just referring to. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
You're welcome, hon.
To add a little bit to that, before continuing with questions, we ran into a situation previously where there was an accommodation request for different seating, and we can accommodate that request if we're given if you give it to us before the conference, and we can. We can work with the convention center to make sure that accommodation is done, but very difficult to do at the time during the conference. So if that speaks to you, please reach out to me, and I'll make sure that connection's made.
Thank you, Laura. Isra?
Yes, thank you for being with us, Tanya and Laura. It's good to see you again. And I just want to share that with you. We're gonna support you for the information we're gonna collect from the OCAC members. Me and Marquita working on Excel sheet, the same Excel sheet from last year Drake shared with you. So
Okay.
it's gonna have the name and the accommodation, the day they're gonna arrive, the day or how many nights they're gonna stay for the peer apocalypse, all information in one document. And after this meeting, I'm gonna send an email for all OCAC members asking them to provide me with this information, and then me and Marquita will prepare this document for all of you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You said
Thank you,
something
sir.
and it triggered something. Okay, it's not there, it's gone. Go ahead, JD.
Two questions. Under accommodations, are you guys going to be able to do the socially awkward meal area upstairs like we did the year before last?
That's a good question. And so if that is needed, we'll see about how we can accommodate that.
It was so super helpful. And then when we didn't do it last year, it was hard for a bunch of people who are socially concerned. So
Okay.
put that on the form, but that is one of the accommodations I'd like to know if we can do again. And then the other question I have is, does this form mean that everybody who fills it out is guaranteed to get to go?
Oh, yeah. So can I just give a real quick historical context? So when we receive the Oregon statewide scholarship funding from OHA, OCAC is a part of that funding. Right. And so yeah, if you register, you get to go, but you need to register. Like I need you to register. Also, you get $100 stipend. And I think this year, a lot of people from the OCAC committee did not pick theirs up. So we will have you have $100 stipend that will be waiting for you at the merchandise table the Tuesday through Friday, but on Monday, most likely we'll put Miss Sharetta is the person who hands them out. We'll have her located somewhere in the building where you can find her. We'll let you know. But yeah, you need to pick up your $100 stipend. Otherwise, I'm putting it in my pocket. Anyway, and then Barb. Oh, Molly, I'm sorry.
No, Barb's next.
Okay.
Hi, question from the peanut gallery. I am not a member of OCAC. I want to make that very, very clear. So what you've been saying doesn't apply to me, and I know that. But for everybody else out there that isn't a member of OCAC that applied to Peer Apocalypse for scholarships, I just emailed with my own name so you guys had it. But I'm wondering if you guys know if you've given out all the scholarships you have, or if that's still an ongoing process. Is that a fair question?
It is a fair.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
It's a fair question. So we ended up closing the Oregon statewide, the MAPS and the veterans at the end of last month, I want to say. And so we have already, the DEI committee has already selected from those pots of individuals who should be getting notified here soon that either they received it or they haven't. Now, what I don't know is Adrian's 2 scholarships still open, or did they close as well?
Those are closed as well.
Okay, so all our scholarship opportunities are closed, and you should know if you have not been notified, you will be notified here shortly.
That's great.
Thank you much, ladies.
You're welcome. Any more questions, thoughts, comments? Yes, hooray for veteran. We got a lot this year, Kevin, so it's really nice. A lot of, yeah. So we're looking forward to it. Molly?
That's great news. Thank you so much.
Can I
You're
ask
welcome.
a quick question
Oh,
about
JD
this
has-
run of the show? Oh, let me put my hand up.
Okay, JD, then Kevin.
I was just gonna ask if Greg is gonna be back this year.
Greg will be back. Yes. Yeah, I'm excited too.
Kevin?
Kevin?
Yeah, when will you be announcing who the keynotes are?
We get some.
Oh, okay.
I'm
is there-
sorry, Kevin. I didn't mean, that did not come out right.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I loved it though.
Kevin, can you, I think we're still looking for keynotes. We're still taking, applications, I believe.
Okay, Molly
Um,
Griggs. I'd like to suggest Molly Griggs and JD. So note that down, somebody. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Note it down. I'm
Note it
tired
down.
of, tired
Send
of
us an
screaming into
email.
the wind. Write it down this year. Thank you.
Okay, but I need you to send an email. Thank you.
I will. I sure
All
will.
right.
All right. Thank you.
I will also share the keynote application link with Isra, and please also share that widely. We also have a December deadline for that as well. Yeah, so if you have if you have any candidates that would be a good fit for that, please send it to them. We would appreciate that.
Laura Rose, I saw your hand.
Yeah, just real quickly, also, so for some of the people that were trying to attend virtual, sometimes there were problems getting into the workshops. I know it's one thing if like a workshop potentially fills up. Is there a general overall capacity limit, or is there any effort to look into that issue to hopefully resolve that this year?
Yeah, that's, it's definitely, we, we are one of the only peer conferences that virtually presents every single workshop. So that's, 40 plus workshops that are streamed virtually, which is very cool. And, I do know that I did look into your team specific issues, and there did seem to be a registration issue with those with those specific team members. So I do think your particular
Okay.
issue was unique. We are doing we are planning to do a full onboarding experience into Whova, because if it is your first time, it is a lot of information to intake.
Yeah.
So we do have big goals around that this year. And so I do hope that attendees feel more supported with that. But yes,
That'll be cool.
yeah.
Okay. Super. Yeah. And just one last thing, I think on that same page, didn't they say, I know you have to be present for ethics for credits, but is ethics something you can attend virtually?
Yes, ethics is something you can't, it is shown virtually. It's not recorded. So you have to be present either virtually or in person to get ethics certificate credit.
Okay. So you can't like attend a past record. Right. Okay. I think that
Yeah,
might have
it's
been
not
one
like,
of the challenges that people weren't fully aware of. So
yeah, and so we definitely will, we will definitely make sure that information is known before the conference. So yeah, there's not any hiccups there.
thank you. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Tanya?
Real quick, I'm gonna put my hand down, and thank you, Molly. I just want to give you some exciting news, because I felt like Laura Rose was really talking about ethics when she first started, and we're gonna open up both Mechanicum rooms for ethics, so that more people can do it in person, right? We know that is really what people need, especially for recertification. We are bringing back Christina with a K. If you've experienced her, she will be back with us, right? And so just to let people know that, right? Also, I need for y'all to let people know that we're going to do a hybrid Peer Apocalypse Got Talent and the Mad Hatter Dance for those that are attending virtually. So we coming up, we coming up. So people can have that feel like they're there, right? That experience. So just thought I'd drop that little dime. And so yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys all in one space again. Let's do it.
All of that is super exciting. Kevin, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I have a question. I used to make a living as a disco dancer on the weekends, and I've been I love this event. It's so awesome, but every time I get there, is the dance floor going to be carpet again this year?
We never asked them to put the dance floor out, and I think so. Is it carpet? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of it is and some of it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, we may ask them to put the dance floor out. We'll see.
Okay.
It was nice when they did.
Yeah.
But if they don't, Kevin, here's the deal. So we're going to rent a conference room space at the Salt Line, right? For a totally different workshop. But in the evening, that's where we're going to do the hybrid Peer Apocalypse Got Talents and the Mad Hatter Dance.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's the Salt Line just may have the dance floor you're looking for.
Fantastic. I never get to stay at the Salt Line. I'm always then at the Budget Inn at the very end of the street because I got to fundraise to make my hotel, but I'll be down there. Thank you. It sounds exciting.
Kevin, you know what? Okay, you're welcome.
Can I give big shout outs to you and Laura and all your team? This is huge. I know because I cause problems with special requests behind the scenes every year, and you guys do a terrific job. 850 people in person, what, 400 virtually? What's the goal this year?
950 people in person and as many as we can get virtually.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Thank you again. All goofing around aside, I really respect this is such a meaningful thing to so many people. Thanks for doing
Yes.
such a great job year after year. And buy my merch. I'll be in the merch vendor tables. Thanks.
I got you. All right. Any more questions, thoughts, comments?
Thank you so much for coming, Tanya and Laura. And Laura, I just want to give special shout out to you. Like, things are so much smoother since your arrival in the peer population world. As someone who worked on the committee when I was a member of MHAO, like this, you are a true benefit to the process. And I thank both of you for advocating for us and showing up and taking all our questions and being present. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, Molly. Thank you.
Yes, we're so excited. Can't wait for another year. We're 170 days away. So
holy cow.
It's
fast. All right.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys.
Marquita,
Take care.
Marquita's got her hand up.
I just want to thank you both for coming and appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you, hon.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Did
so
you
much.
fill out your exhibitor table thing? Thank you, Walter.
Yes, we want an exhibitor table. Do we need to fill
I'm
out an
doing it
exhibitor
in
table
February.
thing?
I have both Marquita and an OCAC table on the wait list. I'll be reaching out to you probably around February to get that registered, but that's on my radar.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks all. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's jump back into the previous discussion if that works for everyone. So I think
I can
I'm
share
gonna try and
PDF.
go ahead. What?
I can share the PDF for the application. In
Okay, and
case
I was just
say
gonna
you
try
want-
and
yeah.
summarize where we're at, I think. So let me see if I can summarize what I think I heard in the previous discussion. What I think I heard was that we are not quite ready to vote on the application because it needs to go through development and DEIB again. So we would be planning to vote on the application in December. So that's one piece.
Yes.
Then I know there was a question about extending Luke's membership as one possibility, and Luke brought up the fact that that has already applied for OCAC as another possibility. So those were two ways that we could potentially bridge the space in between now and Luke's sunsetting. What else did I miss?
Isaiah can't talk right now because I was kind of giving him space to share his insight, but he can't talk right now. Sorry.
But that
yeah.
was why it was going back to Deb, right?
Yep.
Was the question. Okay.
Yeah, from his statement and his insight on the application. So I think it's just that from my perspective, let me just say that, because everyone has their own perspective. I feel that it's, since that's where the application is being developed in development committee, I think that it's fair to go back there. And so everyone show up, please. Show up, insight. Luke has been working really hard on this. And we want you guys to show up so you can put your input. That's one form of equity lens, is that we all have a say-so. And so that way when it goes to DEI, we can pass it through. And once it gets here, it's getting voted on. It's not going to be share your insight at the full council. So please start showing up to these subcommittees so we can hear your voice. It's really important. Appreciate you.
Okay, and Isaiah said in the chat, what we were talking about is a question down in the application about DEIB, and Luke, I see your hand.
I want to implore the council to proactively and collaboratively make the plan and also take part in taking the steps to keep to the plan. I have been doing my part to keep to the timelines so that we could, have this expedited process. And I want to have the feeling that everybody is similarly committed to sticking with the plan and doing their part. Well, thank you. I saw the chat from Isaiah, but I didn't get to really look closely enough. And I think you're pointing out what area in the application you had some suggestions or concerns about. So I'm really, I'm grateful. I want the input. I want people to participate and see this is important. Thank you.
Marquita, I see your hand up.
I had an idea from what Luke was his statement to make sure we stick to the plan. Is it possible for us to vote that, because I know originally we had the idea that the application would go be looked over through our equity lens, which DIB has not created yet. We're still in the process of even trying to have someone come in to teach us. And I know that we had discussed kind of pushing it through by just kind of sending it to the DEIB committee and having individuals who are there, members of the public, members, look at it, give it a once over, share our insight, our input of what it needs, or if it's good to go, if it's diverse enough, if it's inclusive enough, and then voting it to be sent to full council to be voted on so that it can be accepted as our new application. So I was wondering, should we set a motion for that so that way it's actually official?
So I think what I heard you say was to ensure that the process happens by making a motion that the steps happen between now and December.
Yes.
Does anyone have comment or discussion on that? Do you want to make that motion?
I set a motion for the application to be sent back to the development committee to have a once over. And then once it is voted on, it will be sent to the DEIB committee for us to look over to make sure that it is inclusive and that it is diverse enough to be sent to the full council in December, which is next month, 2024, to be voted for approval.
Heather, I see your hand up.
Thanks, Molly. Yeah, I like this idea. I'm wondering if it's possible that we could go ahead and vote as a full council to approve the application pending the rewrites being approved in development and DEIB, so that we didn't have to vote on it in the next full council meeting, because that's just putting things further out. Is that something that people would feel comfortable with? Like, I'd like to amend Marquita's motion to say we agree that we want this application and we are willing to abide by what the development and DEIB committees do with it.
I don't know how to answer that, honestly, because I'm still learning. The reason why I didn't think that it was supposed to be voted on today was because it didn't go through the proper steps that I was informed of, which it has to be approved. So I don't know. If we're able to, I don't mind.
Luke?
I want to make a humble request that somebody else be assigned to watch the ball, because I put the motion in previously and I kind of, I guess, assumed the responsibility to keep the ball rolling, but I want to be relieved from that role. And if somebody's going to be putting forth a motion to basically bring us to the step we were before, then somebody else please be watching the ball to keep things moving forward, because I don't want that role anymore. Thanks.
Okay. So we currently have a motion on the floor. If I combine the two things that were spoken of, between Marquita and Heather, then the motion on the floor is to either approve or disapprove of the application with the caveat that it will go back to development and back to DEIB before it is released to the public.
JD, I'll second the motion.
Okay. So any discussion? Shall we vote?
I still didn't
Rhea?
see Rhea and Drake.
Rhea and Drake.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passed. Who will shepherd that through the process?
Well.
Thank you, Marquita.
Sorry, Luke.
And is your hand up, Marquita?
It was up for that reason, but I'll take it down. Thanks.
Okay. And Heather, your hand went up for a moment. No?
I'm
Okay.
just having problems figuring out all of my things.
Okay. All right. So the next voting item on the list is ECPR. Luke, are you available to talk about that? Thanks, Isaiah.
I was under the impression we were going to delay that until December's meeting. There was another motion that was going to be set to the floor, and that was the 7-member new membership committee. And then there's also the SWAG motion. But we had decided in the previous executive committee meeting not to entertain the motion about ECPR today.
Okay. So we'll talk about ECPR in December.
But I'm glad that there is interest in it, and I appreciate you, Kevin, for proposing that the scope be expanded, because I do want to involve more people besides, OR and OCAC. Exciting.
Kevin, I see your hand up.
Yeah, Luke, I had a question. So that motion passed. When is that going to be considered by? Is that going to be considered at the December meeting? Is my motion and your previous motion, are they getting married or?
That was my understanding. The previous motion that I put in was expanded with your motion. So it's kind of an amendment, I guess. But I did not want to vote for that today because when I've spoken about the ECPR training in the past, people don't understand what ECPR is. So what I had done was I had arranged with some of the leaders involved with the organization to come here and present about it before we vote. We have not been able to arrange that. I did try to arrange it for this meeting, but we decided that it was just too much to fit in here. So we wanted to delay it until December.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Very good. I thought there was a whole plethora of these ECPR trainers that are able to plug in virtually. I'm surprised no one was able to make it to this meeting.
No, I wanted them to. I told them no, we're going to do it in December instead. They were ready to join us today. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Very good.
they wanted to.
It was because we had a full agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I'll shut up and stop filibustering. So it will address in December. Thank you.
Okay. The next topic was IPS, folk time training. I don't know a lot about this one.
I think this one was similar, that we were waiting till December in order to talk about it more, but I'm not positive.
Also, Rita is here. If you have any question about IPS training, she can maybe answer it.
Yes, I can help you with that.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi, y'all.
So
Hello,
this
Miss
was
Rita. Hi.
a discussion of doing an abbreviated version of an IPS training. So this was like a 1-day IPS training, so not
Yes.
certifiable, just skill building. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. But you will get, so if you did a 4 or a 8-hour training, if you did 8, you would get 8 hours of CEUs. If you did 4, you would get 4 hours of CEUs. So it is a CEU eligible type of training. And you would get the complete overview of IPS.
Excellent. Kevin, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did have a question. I apologize. I was not here when we baked the cake of what we were looking at, whether 1 day or 5 days. I have Walid, I have a couple of questions about structure.
Sure.
If just theoretically, the group hasn't moved to do it, and I don't know whether they would or not, but fundamentally, if I'm a peer in Oregon and I want to go through your IPS training, how many hours does that take if you're doing it in person for people in a group traditionally?
So traditionally, it would be 40 hours. It would be 1 week.
So that's broken into 4 days or 5 days?
5 days.
5 days. Okay.
Correct.
And the group size that you usually do it, is it a minimum size? Is it a maximum size? Is there a general sort of sweet spot that you do that?
So usually if it would all depend. If it was an open training to the public, we would do between 24, 26 people. But if it's a closed training, we would just basically figure out what that contract looks like, but we still try to keep it at 24. But it all depends if it's a long-standing contract and they would like to do something different, we work around that. But normally it would be 24 people, but if we did something with you guys, we would figure out what works well for you guys.
Okay. Where did the impetus of only making this a sampler pack instead of the whole certification? I know in other governments, my friend Angel Prater and other IPS trainers have gone to governments, have gone to councils and taken everybody through the 5 days. And I'm not want to call out names, that's not what this is about, but where did the initial idea of only doing 1 day instead of somebody swinging for the fences and say, we should all be IPS, PSS trained as well as ECPR trained, and we, like everybody else, should get the opportunity to get the state to support us as volunteer council members to have that fortification and education. How else will we get PSS certification unless we have to beg for scholarships? I maybe it's already a done deal, but somewhere down the line, in 2025, I would like to make that formal motion that I will no longer be on the council, but all council members be supported to go to a 5-day week IPS full kit and caboodle certification. You're done and you have that. And to make that promise to then onboarding everybody who follows. Oh, you get this, we're going to sponsor you to go to IPS. I think, and if we could, many state councils, you got to go to ECP, first aid and all that stuff. Anyway, so
Yes.
that's what I would have put out there. I don't know the backstory, how we ended up here with just the teaser or the sampler pack when you want the whole, dozen or whatever. But anyway, thank you. I
Gotcha.
think you get the metaphor.
Gotcha. So Kevin, I mean, basically we are open to whatever you guys want. I would love to give you guys a week training, but basically it's about what you guys choose and we will support you on whatever that looks like. I would love to spend a week with you and break down IPS in the 40 hours of what it is to give you the full sample of whatever it is. I don't want to give you guys a teaser, but the teaser will be great, because we'll break it down together what that looks like within that 8 hours. But the 40 hours, that's really broken down of what it looks like intentional peer support.
Yeah. I just have years of resentment of the poverty conscious of a council that lives underneath a $17 billion a year organization, and we scrap for a crumb here and there. I think we should ask for absolutely what we want and fight for it. It's not their wallet. This is public dollars. So anyway, that's enough out of me. Thank you for your work.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for speaking up. And whatever you guys want, just let us know and we will support you on that journey. So we're here for you guys to support you. You guys have been here for me and I'm here for y'all. So we're going to do this as a team to figure out what it looks like.
Excellent. I think Marquita, then JD, then Luke.
Hey, thanks for saving that, Kevin, because honestly, I had brought IPS to the table for the ARPA funds. And I was under the impression that it was going to be a 40-hour training. I missed the full council. I was late, and this is what it turned into. I don't know if it was voted on for it to be changed to 8 hours or if it was just a suggestion. So I would like to get more insight on that as well, because I kind of was under the impression that it possibly was voted on and changed to an 8 hour. So yeah, I would like to get clarification on like where we are as a council around the IPS training.
I don't think there's been any voting on it, and I only learned that there was an 8-hour option via email. So, JD?
Just a couple of quick questions. One, I want to mirror what Molly put into the chat with asking for a breakdown of what the cost options would be for both, but also for both if it was hybrid so that people who are from a distance could potentially participate without being in person as part of the quote.
So the quote would be the same for if someone was in person or if they did it online. We know how to work it as hybrid. We have enough computers, we have enough system. We've done it both ways, people in person and online. So where the fidelity of the training is not missed. But the great thing about doing it in person, it's a better connection. But we do it online and in person. And we figured out how to break everyone in groups and breakouts and all that kind of stuff. And so the cost of the trainings, I'm circling back on that, is $650 per participant for the training. And that will give you your book and for you to take home. And that covers the cost of 2 trainers when we have a big class, because if you have more than 12 people in the class, you would have to have 2 trainers to keep the fidelity of the training. So that's what that looks like, but it's $650 per person, and it's worth it. And you get your certification for PSSMH, MH, and then that follows into, AD, but also that falls into your CRM. And so you get basically all the credentials that you need for your PSS certification, and you get all the knowledge of what it is to be peer support. And we learn and grow together, and we find out more about each other also in this training. And so I think it'd be a really good idea if you guys did do a 40-hour training, but it's up to you guys. I'm just here supporting you, or whatever that looks like. I wouldn't say do no 4, because a 4 would just basically be a joke. It wouldn't be a joke, but you wouldn't grasp of all the knowledge that you need.
Marquita, I see your hand up.
It was still up, but you guys know me so well. Should we, because I would like to kind of get to the bottom of what we're doing with the IPS. June is around the corner. It's going to come really fast. I would like to vote today if we're able to say, are we doing the 40-hour? I would like to do the 40-hour, or are we doing the 8-hour? So that way we kind of know what works for the best of us moving forward, and what we're actually going to try to schedule.
Yeah, because if people want to do it at home and then people want to do it in person, we will do it all together the same way.
So should we set a motion for 40 hours or 80 hours?
Then Marquita?
How should we do this?
I've had my hand up for a little while too.
I'm sorry.
I need to speak on this because as many of you know, I'm one of the people that is present for most of the meetings. I've been part of this discussion from the very beginning. And I recall, Marquita, your interest in the training. And I recall very distinctly that you were interested in the bonding potential of the training itself. IPS has that ability to facilitate a team and a community to bond on a very deep level. And when we looked at this numerous times, The aspect that changed it from the 40-hour to the 8-hour was the cost. We had looked at the price of how we could fit it into like a $20,000 ask. And when we asked you, Walida, you seemed pretty doubtful that it could be fit within that budget. So if we're gonna ask for a lot more money, we could do that. But the 8-hour training seemed much more appropriate for what we wanted to do for that bonding potential. So if we're gonna be changing the direction, I'm open to that. I just think it's a big change of direction from the conversations we've already had on this topic, informed over a very long period of time. So yeah, there's that, just filling in.
So,
Thank you. Oh,
thank
sorry.
you.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So thank you, Luke, for saying that regarding about the budget. Well, the reason why I say in the budget is because of it's your guys' money. You guys do what you want to do. But when it comes to trainings and people sign up for it, and then you guys are footing the money, you want to make sure the exact numbers of people that are going, so you won't lose money for slots that aren't being used. So have the exact numbers of people that are going, so it won't be $650 wasted on a seat that could have been used for something else for you guys to use. Now, I'm saying that a simple fact that, you know, like if I was another company, I'll be like, yeah, hey, do it. Let's take the money. But no, you guys need to use the money for what it is used for. And, you know, so I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, frank, or anything, but like you don't want to waste dollars on seats that aren't being used. Because you guys have other ideas of stuff that you guys want to use it for the good of stuff that you guys are doing.
I see Laura Rose and then Marquita.
Hey, my internet says it might be a little jerky, so I apologize if my voice isn't coming through clearly.
Hi, Laura.
Is it coming through clearly so far?
Yes.
Okay. So just a quick comment. I think with IPS, I was very blessed to take it back in 2012. I took the full 40 hours. It was life-changing. It was very helpful. One thing that comes to mind is, you know, thinking about the full class 40 hours and getting the certification. We're also having concerns about budget, etc. I appreciate Kevin saying, you know, don't give up the fight.
Yes.
I do wonder, there were some parts that were basically state required topics to cover. For example, you know, some HIPAA specific stuff about privacy. There was, you know, very important stuff to learn, but because it's got a lot of stuff written into it that's specific to satisfy state requirements, Medicaid billing capacity, different kinds of things that the state wants to make sure covered and taken care of. There was a requirement related to oral hygiene as well. So what if, you know, if you end up landing on, say, an 8-hour package and, you know, that sort of thing, I wonder if one, there's not more freedom in that per se, because you're not having to cover all those other state required topics, but maybe a pathway for people. I don't know if Folk Time could do it in a way where there's, you know, the time that's spent on the 8 hours could count towards maybe, you know, like if you were then to decide you want to go on further, then people could go on further for the other 32 hours, let's say, you know, just knowing what was covered and wasn't covered, and then it wouldn't have to be double covered. It could give a reduced cost pathway. Just a thought. Thank you.
And Marquita.
I wanted to clarify that when I first mentioned IPS as a training, I wasn't aware of 8-hour trainings that IPS offered. So most definitely the bonding part that I've always gotten from IPS, and getting to know the individuals that I've taken it with, and myself, seeing my growth, most definitely is super important to me and why I even suggested it. So I feel like Luke kind of answered some of my question earlier of how did we get to the 8 hours training even being a topic. And I guess it's budgeting for the 20,000. I would like to look at the numbers and versus all the other things that we have aligned to see if this is something that we can do. It's something that's important to me. I think that we all could benefit from it as a council, and on a personal level.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. You know, and I personally, Makita, I have seen a growth in you from taking that, and I'm not going to cry because I know I'm a crybaby. And just watching you on here and seeing you from when you first took the training years and years ago, the path that you have chosen, actually being a pillar in the community and your voice and everything, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to turn my camera off. I'm acting like my mother now.
I receive it. It most definitely is my foundation as a peer. I started on with Folk Time. I worked on the Warm Line. It's most definitely a huge part of my growth as a human being. And that's why I suggested it. So I would like for us to try to figure out the numbers, but I'm also a team player. If everyone here feels like 40 hours is too much, that the funding is not being fairly shifted, you know, I'm also for it. Some is better than none, but I would like for us to do this together. And I have to leave at 2:30. I have to go to the.
You guys have enough to do it. You haven't spent that much money, so you do.
I was just gonna say.
You do.
I put in the chat the summary. I just got the summary just before this meeting of the ARPA. So we have spent almost $13,000 and we have almost $137,000 left to spend.
Yes.
And I believe we have a fairly limited timeline for spending that money. So we should be conscious of that as we go through this process.
You're good.
JD.
Thank you. Look at you.
JD, I see your hand up.
To add that in the proposal that we are going to end up writing for doing the IPS, we need to include hotel and in person. If we're doing it during the week, we can use room 160 potentially. We can block that out so we wouldn't have to pay for a conference room in Salem, but we would still need to have the ability for me not to have to drive back and forth each day.
Thank you. Marquita, is your hand up again? Or still up? Still up? Okay, Luke.
Okay, just briefly here. I think when we decided to go down to the 8-hour training, we were also looking at other asks, and we were concerned we might not have enough money. At this point, I think it's off the table to do a big conference and use our ARPA funding for travel and lodging for a big conference event. So our idea of what we're going to want to do between now and when the funding is no longer available has been reduced. So I'm really excited about the interest in doing an IPS training, 40 hours. I've already taken it myself, but I think it's a really good opportunity for other people. And you know what? We can get under other funding too. You know, we have like a tremendous amount of evidence that there's need for this kind of funding, and there's other sources of it besides ARPA. So let's not stop here. You know, let's keep going and get some other opportunities and supports. Thank you.
Thank you. Heather?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve a 40-hour IPS training.
This is JD, I'll second that.
Is there discussion? Let's vote.
They're calling me a crybaby in the office. He's
Allergies?
I still don't see Rhea and Kevin check marks.
Rhea voted abstain in the
Oh, yeah, I
chat.
see it in the chat. Yeah. Thank you, Rhea.
And Kevin.
then
Kevin also abstains.
abstain. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
We should have plenty of money still for an ECPR training by the looks of it too.
And we do have the PSRB survey or the PSRB project money, which I don't think was in that total. And we have 3 more items on the voting list.
Sorry, Molly.
Thank you, Rhea.
Sorry, Molly. I think we lost Marquita and Julie, correct?
Marquita's still here.
Oh, Marquita's still here?
Did we pass?
Julie is not here. Who else? Isaiah left.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So are we 1 short?
9? What? 9. So we don't have quorum to vote.
Even with the adjusted numbers for people who are actually on the council?
I don't know, and we have 2 abstains, so I don't know.
We have 10 people here. That's what I thought. So
And it's okay to abstain. That doesn't
yeah,
stop
that
it
still
from being.
counts.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, yeah, abstaining does not stop us from voting. And so my question is 10 still quorum because we have a reduced number of people on the council? So I know when we had 24 people on the council, 11, or 23 people on the council, 11 was quorum.
Still
Is 10
23.
quorum now since there are 10 of us here?
Still 20.
And we have 20 people on the council technically.
Drake?
Drake?
20 or 21? I thought it was 21.
No, 23.
23?
Active? We have 23 active members.
Because
Quorum would be.
we
quorum would be
didn't
12.
decide for some people. They didn't show up for a long time, but they still in the council.
But
Well, a
Carol
quorum would be-
left and
Quorum would be 12 or 23 members.
okay,
I would-
so what I hear is that we don't have quorum again. Which means that we cannot vote.
I also believe that the abstentions do have an effect because I think the black letter law on the quorums or it has to be an actual majority of what would be a quorum of the council, not simply a majority of those that vote who are not abstaining. So I'm not absolutely certain of that, but I'm pretty sure that that's accurate because they really want to make sure that there's a fully representative body voting. Otherwise, essentially a minority can essentially vote anything in that they want.
JD, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know that one thing that we're working on behind the scenes for Dev is writing a warning letter, for lack of better words, that says, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Do you need mentorship? Do you need help with obstacles? Or do you need to step out from official membership? Because we keep not making quorum for ghosts. So that is something that Dev is going to finalize at its next meeting and compare it to this Excel spreadsheet that Israel has been doing so that we can send those. And it looks like Carolyn just got back.
So Carolyn says she just got back, but I don't think that gives us enough people still.
I'd like to check in about that because I believe Isra, you said today that we had gotten resignation letters from a couple of people. Is your 23 including those people that we've gotten resignation letters from?
Yeah, that was what I was asking.
Yeah, and we thought, I think Michelle Credit, she said she will join us today and announce her resignation, but she didn't show up, unfortunately. So it's up to you. Tell me,
But
how many
Michelle and Carol are both resigned.
resign? Yeah.
So with those resignations, how many do we need for quorum?
So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Would it be 11?
No, we've
quorum?
been at
If-
11. So with 2 people less, we should be, our 11 should be 10 or 9. So Rhea says that's 19 members and JD says that's 10 for quorum, which makes sense to me. Six, 7, 8, 9. And we still only have 9 of us here. So yeah, so Rhea says 19 active members with those 2 changes, but we still don't have quorum. Yeah, that is including the people who haven't shown up, in like Fawn Preston, who hasn't been here, DeAndre. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's still only 9 of us here. So I know we can't vote on anything officially, so we can move directly into subcommittee reports. But before
Molly?
we wrap this section, yes.
I just wanted to point out that Marquita put in the chat that she voted yes, but had to go. So I think her vote can still count if we want it. Then that would give us 10, right?
Which would allow us to move forward with the previous vote that we had.
Mm-hmm. At least we could get something.
Yes, Marquita's vote would count.
Okay, so the previous vote then was a yes to IPS, correct? Okay. And now we do not have quorum. Is that correct? Okay. So before we move out of here, I would like to say that I love that Dev is putting together a letter to remind people that they need to attend, and I think it would be valuable for us to send a communication to all members that says we were unable to vote on needed items because people were not here, and we need to address that as a council.
And this has been an ongoing issue.
Yes.
It's just this meeting. I also just want to let everybody know that I'm going to reach out to some of the folks who we have not seen in a long time and see if I can solicit a resignation from them.
Or participation if they'd like to re-engage.
Yeah, if they want to re-engage, that's even better. But yeah, if they're over it, that's okay. But it would be nice to have that reflected in the official documents.
Melita, I see your hand up.
And so if you guys decide to do the training, we have a beautiful location that we're moving to around that time. So we wouldn't have to pay for a location. So it's going to be state-of-the-art training center. So they'll be in Tigard area. So that will take down the cost also for as for location. And then that will help also with the participants who are doing it on Zoom of what that looks like. So we
And
can support
when
you
is
guys.
that?
We were actually moving in there in January. So when you guys are ready, we'll
Okay,
be in there after the new year.
excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you can come
Um,
stay with me, JD.
Okay, and Carolyn, thank you for adding your vote. All right, so just. Okay. All right, so let's do committee sub-reports.
This is Kevin. I'll do a brief of tools, technology, and access. I think this month and next month will be my last two. And so hopefully somebody will take over that. It broadly spans tools, technology, access, and a whole lot of fly balls. So hopefully somebody stands up and finds some interest in that. From everything to OCAC going on the road to, ending up at Peer Apocalypse, to a whole bunch of other things and processes that TTAC has been involved with, attempted to have voice in the stipend. So anyway, so just want to put that out there. This November, we'll be talking about the governor's draft GRB, the governor's, I can't remember exactly, governor, yeah. Anyway, the governor's budget, draft budget, some of the things I think are interest, and I want to talk about it with the TTAC group to make sure ongoing OCA people know in the governor's draft budget, there's $6.1 million for a peer center of excellence. And then there's approximately $10 million for peer workforce funds in the governor's budget. Those are still drafts. We'll know after Thanksgiving, but I want TTAC to talk about that at our next meeting, as well as two of the civil commitment bills out there. Thank you. That's all TTAC has to say. Thank you.
Kevin, I would like to request that you write a couple of paragraphs about TTAC and what TTAC has focused on and what you see as things that it could be focused on moving forward.
Okay, yeah, I'll work
And
on it.
send that out, send that to Isra so she can send it to all of us, but that will provide a concise description and hopefully spark somebody's interest.
Okay. Okay. I plan as much as possible when I'm retired from the committee to attend as a member of the public. And also want to give a big shout out to Isra and her fantastic platform support of TTAC and my lack of punctuality, confusion, excuses, victim. It wasn't me, it was a dog. So bless you. Thank you for all your work and your kindness and your support of all the OCAC does. Thank you. And all the ORR team that are here or not here today. Thank you. And Molly and Marquita and whoever else, Heather, for leading this committee. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. What other committee would like to, oh, sorry, Isra, go ahead.
Yes, so before we continue with the committee reports, can we check with Drake about the final draft copy of the bylaws? Because I remember there is a part related to DEIB committee, and I should receive an updated one. I didn't receive anything, so I need the final draft copy. So Drake, if you are here, please, can you
I'm
update
here.
us? Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm still waiting for the DEIB to finish their written work product. That's all. I think they have most of the parameters decided on and what they're going to ask for, but I don't know if it's part exact. They finished the lens statement, and I'm assuming it's going to be a derivative of that. So that should, take care of that. But yeah, that part still has a boilerplate there, which is not necessarily adequate, but it definitely has a particular place in the bylaws that mentions that things are being developed. So I think we came to the conclusion that whenever it gets done because people wanted to do it correctly and do it so that everybody was satisfied. And that's really the only thing that's we're waiting for. But bylaws are by no means totally incomplete. They just don't have a nuanced DEIB statement that really is sensitive to all the areas that people would want. So operationally, we have a set of bylaws that works and definitely has a an equity component to it.
So we still need as a council to vote on the bylaws, even if there is that space held for DEIB, is that correct?
Nope, we voted on the bylaws. The bylaws have been put in place and they're operational as far as I know
Okay.
now. So the 3 meeting rule and the 5 meeting rule and all that stuff that's in there about attendance is
Okay.
completely operational as of the bylaws being voted in. I think it's 2 or 3 meetings ago.
Okay. Excellent. So, did that answer your question?
Yes,
I
thank
just wanna-
you. But do we need to review it again when the DEIB committee finish their parts? Because it's still like there's something gonna be added.
Yeah, it would be an addition.
Okay.
That's
Thank you.
fair. And everybody should know what they're getting when it's totally complete. But please,
Yes.
people don't worry that it's toast. It doesn't mention inclusion at all. It does actually go out of its way to mention also the fact that we are trying to outreach to people before any of the exclusionary clauses of anything take place. You know, we want a totally human process where people are given every chance to participate rather than to just find reasons to exclude people because they don't show up a few times. There's a lot of reasons people can't participate, and some of them are very good.
Yep. Okay.
So,
So it sounds like once DEIB does their part, we will take one more review of the bylaws, but they're already active. So let's move to the next report out.
Hi, I can go next.
Okay, Maria, why don't you go next?
Sorry, I've been off camera. I'm not feeling super great today. So the report back from Trauma Informed Systems is we're continuing to work on getting that survey distributed. We have a couple of questions about logistics. I'm working with Isra on those. I will be reaching out to Brittany and is it Mariah or Maria? I'm sorry. I want to pronounce it correctly. Mariah, I think.
It's Maria.
Maria, thank you. I'll remember that because I'm Rhea, so Maria. I have to reach out to both of you, I think, about a logistical question that we have around incentivizing participation in the PSRB survey. The next Trauma Informed Systems Subcommittee meeting, which is next week, next Tuesday from 12 to 1. We are going to be doing a work group really to try and draft the plan and get it set so that we can move forward with distribution immediately. That's my report back from Trauma Informed Systems, but I am also going to take this time to make a brief statement. And the statement is about the training that we just had with Transponder, which many members of the Oregon Consumer Advisory Council had expressed the need for just some training in diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's been an ongoing conversation for that to happen. And then we had these funds to be able to do that. So last May, the full council voted to use ARPA funds for such a training with Transponder. And then in subsequent discussions around planning, members wanted the training to be in person, to have a hotel or other lodging accommodations to occur on a weekend, and to hold it in the fall. And so we worked to accommodate all of those requests. People from Folk Time, our fiscal sponsor, as well as myself and JD worked really hard to make this happen. And we listened to these requests made by other members of the council. So to say that I'm disappointed by the lack of attendance and participation in this training is an understatement. We had 7 people attend to the online session on November 1st. And we had 6 OCAC members attend the in-person training on November 2nd. Only 1 staff member from the from the Office of Recovery and Resilience was able to attend, thanks Isra. And then 2 people from our fiscal sponsor, Walida and Peter, were there for the training. After lunch, 2 OCAC members left. So that left 4 OCAC members out of the current 20 active members that we have on OCAC that were there for this training. Of course, I am somebody who completely understands and has compassion for the unexpected life events that conflict with our plans. I know how it goes. But I really need to say this, and I need it to be heard, that especially in light of recent election results, this experience has left me very disheartened and angry. Like many in the queer community and those with a uterus, as well as others that I cannot speak on behalf of, but Black and Brown folks and immigrants, I am now facing a terrifying reality, and I know it's scary for everyone, but there are groups for whom things can be much worse. And access to life-saving healthcare is now threatened everywhere, not just in so-called red states. Here in Oregon, I know we have protections in Oregon, but they can remove federal funding so that people on OHP can no longer access gender-affirming medical care. That is a reality that we're facing. So to be clear, I really want it to be clear, I am not upset with any individuals. Not at all. I'm inspired by each one of you, each member of this council. But I am angry and frustrated at this demonstration of a collective lack of will to show up for those who face additional discrimination and barriers to participation, not only in public policy, but in simply accessing the resources and care that we all deserve. So if you can't see why this matters, then I'm going to make a really bold statement here. You're not an ally. If you don't know why this matters, then you're not an ally. And I really hope that you continue to educate yourself about why this matters. So I know that this is a super intense statement that I'm making, but I feel really intense about it. And I would ask at this moment, because we're almost at the end of our meeting as well, we not move into examining what we could have done better in organizing the event. Of course, I have some ideas about that, or what we could do in the future to hopefully make similar events more successful. We all probably have ideas about that. I know I do. But with respect to all the complex and important reasons that people were not able to attend, and I do have respect for that, this is also not the time to restate those reasons. Again, I understand life happens, but that does not erase my experience of this and the experience of others who felt very hurt by this experience, harmed by this experience. So please, if you can, take some time to practice the basics of being an ally, which is to hear the harm, to sit with it, to try and understand why this experience hurts so much. And then let's see together how we can respond to this and start doing repair work. It's really brought up some larger questions for me about the purpose of the council, its priorities, and its values. I want to know what we're doing here, what we all think that we're doing here. I'd like for us to continue to grow and learn together. And I'd like for it to be a group composed of members who commit to anti-oppression practices, who show up for racial justice and queer liberation, however we are able to, who acknowledge the intersectionality of identities within the disability and Mad Pride movements. I appreciate you listening to me, and I want to make some space for JD to share some comments now.
Thank you, Rhea.
Thanks, everyone. This has been really, really hard on me. And I'm one of the first people who presented that we do transponder training because I was experiencing unintentional harm. I believe it to be unintentional. And this was an opportunity for all of us to grow together. And a lot of what Rhea was sharing is very much true in my reality. My medications are about to become illegal to take. In some states, it's illegal for me to show up and walk around wearing jeans and a t-shirt because I'm cross-dressing in front of children and have to register as a sex offender. It is so scary right now to be me. And that's not just in the United States, but just in my own home. I went and bought extra video games because I know that there's going to be times where it's illegal for me to step outside my door as my authentic self. It is super scary right now. And I really, really wanted to have my allies surround me. And I have such beautiful friendships on this council. And I just, when we were at the end of the training and it was just a few of us, my heart was broken because I know that there's so much more intentions in this council than what I saw at the end. If you are encouraged, transponder does have a post-tease ability to contact them and ask questions about things you may have missed, things that you could learn or do better. I encourage you to reach out to them. And just knowing and being aware that right now it's even scarier to be a person like me than it was before. And I'll pass.
Thank you, JD. Lolita?
I just want to say thank you guys for doing the training. And I had a chance to honestly use everything that I learned this weekend in my IPS training. And I just really want to say thank you, because I didn't realize how much I really needed to learn until I used it with a group of participants that I needed to learn more from. And I was able to open the door and have more conversation with them about a lot more stuff, because I had a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more compassion. And I was just really grateful that I was able to tell them about the stuff that I learned and building it into the work that I do. And I just want to say thank you, even though I wasn't in a good space to be there. I was like barely hanging on, but what I did learn, I just really do want to say thank you. And I was able to bring it to 10 amazing young people that were very grateful for the stuff that I learned. And I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Alita. Is there more discussion? I want to acknowledge I'm done. Go ahead, Heather.
I just want to echo what Rhea and JP said. It was really disheartening and sad to find ourselves in a huge room with all of this amazing food that Rhea had curated for us, with nobody there, not nobody, but at the end it was just those two and Isaiah and I, and yeah, I felt abandoned, and it makes, like, I still want to be gung-ho about other training stuff, but the fact that everybody just, there were so many people who were signed up, and a bunch of folks bailed at the last minute. A bunch of people didn't sign up in the first place. And yeah, like Rhea said, like, I get it. Everybody's got lives, stuff comes up. It's not personal, I know, but it hurt. And I think it hurt me less than it hurt others in my community there. But it's still.
Thank you, everyone. Again, it is a learning process for those of us on the council. I hope that we will learn and move forward. And I, again, am sorry for the harm that was done, and look forward to having a conversation about how we can move forward together.
I really wanted to be there, and it hurt me that I was excluded because of the shortcomings of the ability for the system to support me. I was really looking forward to that. And even if it was virtual, I still would have had challenges, but at least I could have been there some of the time.
Yeah. It is now 3 minutes until 3. We need to make space for public comment. Barb's still here. Anyone have any comment?
I am here as your token community comment person.
You are not a token anything.
And it when I'm the only one, it sometimes feels that way. but I appreciate that. And the word I was looking for before was groupie. That was it. And I just want to say that, you know, it'd be really cool if there was a way that the public could be last minute, you know, add-ons if you guys do bail on your trainings that you've already paid for. And I think it's actually, some of that is inspiring me to maybe think that I do want to join, because it's doesn't have anything to do with reasons I wouldn't join. But the thing that I think is important is keeping the diversity in the group, no matter what. And I just appreciate the meeting that y'all had today. I feel you, ORR, for not having a leader, but I'm going to say it again just in case somebody has the time to follow the 988 stuff that's going on with the BookSac. I think it would be really nice to have a more of a peer and lived experience presence. There's a handful of people that are part of and the BookSac is the Behavioral Health Services, Crisis Services Advisory Council. And it's an OHA thing, and it's around 988 and the suicide hotline. But one of the three chairs, one of whom is a peer who I really like, one of whom is Chris Boneff from NAMI. And when I spoke about something, I spoke when they were speaking about getting input from the community. I said, hey, you have the seesaw that you guys can look at, which is this crisis center advisory work group that was started a couple of years ago, which is people with lived experience. That was what it was, and it still is that. And what it really is we're not really sure right now, but it is people with lived experience. And it was really hurtful to hear Chris from NAMI say, oh, isn't that group? Well, that group isn't even, you know, appointed by the governor or anything, you know, like it was just a group of people. Yet they were talking about getting consumer input. So I just implore anyone that can follow it and be part of it to do that. And I also think they might have an opening for somebody in a peer or advocacy place, but I think it's like a family position or something that I was not eligible for. Anyway, that's what I got. Thank you for letting me talk for more than 2 minutes. Appreciate it.
I was muted. I said thank you. Appreciate you. It is now 3:01, so I think it's time to close. We'll look for notes from Isra and go from there. Thank you, everyone, for your time today.
Can I say one quick thing?
Sure.
I'm sorry to keep us over time by 1 minute. On Monday, we're going to have Jamie, hopefully, and possibly the aide from Rob Noss's office to discuss our legislative agenda and whatever else people want to bring up for Noss's legislative aid. So it's an important meeting, and although we usually have pretty low attendance at those committee meetings because most of the details have been decided, it would be great for as many people as possible that might have some interest in the legislative process to show it. Because it's really where we get stuff done, where stuff that they can't take away from us. So
thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention, Drake.
I think it's 12 to 1 on Monday.
It is 12 to 1 on Monday.
Correct.
It's titled special meeting.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay. I hope
Thank
it's
you.
on my calendar magically. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your
Bye,
day,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Take care, friends.
Thanks, everyone.